Fight Night Podcast. Hosted by The Plan, Zash Man. The Victorian, Brother Brutus Valentine. And everyone's favorite man, all up in smoke, Duarte the Pot. Ladies and gentlemen, they're ready to rumble, so let's go to the studio. Take it away, Zash Man.
And we've still got
And we just still got the LJN Fight Night podcast screenshot there, but no faces. Oh, there we go. Me and Brutus.
Oh, we're in charge, Mark.
Yeah, welcome everybody to LJN Fight Night podcast. I'm your host, Zash Man. This is Brutus Valentine and Duarte the Pont. This is our Tuesday 6 p.m. US edition. We've moved it backwards because we want to cater for Thanksgiving in the US. How are we, guys?
Not bad in yourself. Got a fresh haircut for the show. But besides that, it's looking good. How about you guys?
You've got a strange concept at times, Ash, a bit like my wife. We've actually moved it forward in time.
Yeah, okay, get that. I kind of thought about that for a second. I thought it's kind of behind it, so we say backwards, don't we? If it's forward, it'll be in front. But yeah, I get what you're saying. We've moved it forward.
Well, we experienced it earlier, so we're this existential marvelousness that we're all enjoying, we're experiencing it before we would have normally. So that's forward. And anyway, that's what the doc told me.
The difference between you and me, Brutus, you're still at school, and I left school when I was 15. So you'd expect you to be smarter.
You would expect it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but it's common sense.
Not necessarily. That's right. And it's good to see Duarte's channeling his favourite tag team there of SD Jones and Paul Roma.
Yeah.
Those two guys? That's the Killer Bees. Come on. No, that's the Rougeau brothers.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Come on, Brutus. Brutus, do you even know what the WWF is? Were you even around the Golden Era?
They save pandas.
Guys, people aren't watching this show to listen to us three talk. We've got two of the big guns on today. What are we wasting time chatting away for? Let's get the first one on. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy needs no introduction at all.
Again to the black screen.
When it comes to wrestling figures, who do you think of sculpting? Pledges, 3D printing, the man who likes the woman with blue hair, the man who has more hair than... Well, I think we've just given it away. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome... Warren Warsman!
What an intro!
You captured all my arrows perfectly.
Welcome, Mr. Warsman. You are a celebrity in the custom world, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Oh, it's our pleasure, mate. And
what a magnificent shirt.
A magnificent shirt to match him.
Yeah.
I'm ready for Thursday.
And we saw you drinking a glass of wine there. What are you drinking tonight, Warren?
Just a little bit of sweet red. I don't even remember what it's called, to be honest with you. It was something cheap, something sweet, something to make me feel talkative.
That's why I do this.
A bit like Zash, something sweet, something cheap.
And something talkative.
Yes.
All right, guys, I'm going to bring on our second guest, who also needs no introduction. Let's bring the man on.
Next up is the man behind the man we just introduced. The Beast! The man that makes Warsman look good, Tomeo look good, Seth Bodie look good, me look good, the male model from Sacred, Tom Veg!
I wasn't expecting those photos out there.
Oh, the man, the
He got you good there, hey, with that last photo of you.
Yeah, that was back in 2010. It was good time on the island of Hvar down in Adriatic. Also, it's Tom Veg.
Yes.
You-
Correction. Tom Bag.
I'll pull myself.
Oh.
Thank you for joining us all the way from beautiful Croatia. It's a place my wife and I have always wanted to go to. The reports are Split is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Would you agree with that?
About Split? No,
Yeah.
no, no about Split, but about Croatia. No, there is.
Yeah.
I'm from Zagreb, and there is
Yeah.
this rivalry between Split and Zagreb. Split is the second largest city in Croatia, and
Yeah.
there is this also. Eduard will know football fans. You know, Hajduk Split versus Dinamo Zagreb, and so on. So I will say Split is not the best. But our coast overall is really beautiful, and I will recommend Dubrovnik if you
Yeah.
are interested in historical sites, or if you really want to choose those lesser known places like villages and places like that if you want peace and quiet. But also Split, you can go.
I've already stuffed up on Balkan political relations. I won't say any more. We actually had a band here in the 1980s called the Dubrovniks. So yeah, huge Croatian community here in Melbourne, as you probably know. So Tom, you might even have
Yes,
relations.
I personally don't, but I have many friends who moved out all over the world. So yeah. In United States, in Canada, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, all over.
Well, Tom, you've done some fantastic sculpts. You've been doing this for a hell of a long time. I'm actually holding one. I painted many of yours, but
You had to bring that one and put the guy under the bus. Why he did a naked girl, eh?
Tom will know what I mean by this when she's got a hairy pitchka, right?
Yes, this is hairy. I will not repeat the word you said, but yes, it is hairy.
I haven't
about
heard
that
that for 30 years.
Yes.
I forgot all about that word. I hadn't heard it since I was a school teacher. So yeah.
I have one. I don't know where I put it. Probably.
Yes, that was the sculpt I did for Retro Wrestling Revolution for Todd. He was also, I believe, at your podcast. It was a replica of the prototype of that figure. So it's not. I need to say it's not a realistic sculpture of her.
It's better than anyone else could do, and it was quite embarrassing when I was painting this. My girlfriend was beside me. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Because I was painting the bush, and I was just like, "It was the '80s. Come on, I'm just doing it." So yeah,
This real close painting. And...
No, I don't want to go too. I don't want to get, but he did. I will say, you did a great job on that. And I knew that Todd had it from Retro, I'm like, I need to order that. As much as I think that's such a perverted and big thing to have, that had to be in my collection, hands down.
Needless to say, Duarte got some action that night. Guys, talk to us. I want to hear about the relationship between Tom Veg and Warren Warsman, man, who, by the way, has copied my surname, but I'll let you away with this one, Warren. Guys, talk to me. How did it all start? And I want to hear about you guys and your dealings with each other.
I started looking into 3D printers, and I saw they were coming down in price and finally being affordable at around $800.
How long ago was this, Warren?
3 years ago, probably close to 3 years ago.
Yep.
Now they're about less than $200. So I knew I didn't have the talent to do it, so I started looking around for not Kickstarter, but Fiverr or freelancers on those websites, and everybody, promises you the moon and tells you, oh, I can do that for this price. Well, the price never stayed the same, and the quality was never there. I think I hired 2 people, paid their full price, and they It was almost as bad as if I had done it myself. And I think the Google algorithm kicked in for me because I was posting about it and talking about it so much that the people I might want to know or something came up, and Tom's picture was on there. I'm like, well, why would I want to know Tom Veg?
Which, hold on, was it the one with him and that Zash put in the video?
Yeah, that one.
That's what got your attention. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Okay, maybe I do need to meet this. It's a portfolio, and a lot of it was political stuff and political
portraits.
Yeah, by nature. So I really enjoyed his political portraits. So I thought, I wonder if he would even be interested in. At the time, I pretty much only wanted a couple guys done because I didn't really see. I didn't know if I had a partner yet. I didn't know a lot of things, so I just probably either started with the Owen Hart sculpt or the Kenny Omega sculpt that he did. And
Owen was first.
And I loved it. I was so happy with it. And he was easy to talk to and work with. And, over time, just super easy to work with. And he's become like a brother.
Thank you. Likewise, man.
Oh, fantastic. So you guys have been working together for about 3 or 4 years. And you,
I think it's 3 years, more likely.
And in that time, your portfolio of Tom Veg design heads, Warren, is massive now, right?
Yeah, my website gives me like an updated count on what I have listed, and I have 400 listings. Some of those are duplicates with like tag teams or 6-man tag teams. So I would guess I probably have at least 300 individual solo sculpts, possibly more than that.
Mm. Well, you've certainly got a great selection of heads. If anyone wants to check them out, Warren Warsman. What, we just Google Warren Warsman, man, or
the easiest way is to find me on Facebook. I always try to communicate there and answer questions and point people in the right direction. So yeah, Warren Warsman, man, on Facebook. I'll get you to where you need to go.
Beautiful.
And thank you for the other day for putting the Coles notes for the names of those guys, because I know everyone asked, and I'm like, I don't want to ask him. I'm like, I'll let someone else. You put it up. I saved it. I'm like, never have to ask him again.
Yeah. Months from now when I need to update it again, because we get a lot, 8 heads at least every month, it seems like.
Yeah, it's always growing. All right, guys, we've got so much more to chat about, but we're going to shoot on over to one of our segments called Life Hacks.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I'm on. Okay. Again, we have a letter, so thank you, viewers, for sending that in. It's fantastic to get these letters. So we'll ask the panel for some advice. Poe Jetka from Mullet, Michigan writes, "Hi, LJN Life Hacks. I've been sporting the same hairdo for decades. It's time for a change. Which of my beloved LJNs should I draw inspiration from for my new look for my hair? P.S. I'm a bit thinning at the back and at the front, but these can be covered with some clever tonsorial maneuvers."
Gerard, get off your phone. You're on a
Sorry, man, I was writing a message to my brother.
Paying attention. So would you?
Sorry. Ask again. I was asking. My brother was asking me a question. I need to reply to him because to get his intention, it's impossible. So sorry. Read it again. But I didn't thought the question was directed at me.
Gerard's on the big bucks.
You never get the questions anyway. Dwight, what Poe Jetka from Mullet, Michigan was asking, he wants to change his hairstyle and he's asking for inspiration from an LJN.
Or for a mullet.
Since we've got 2 of the masters of heads down there, what would you reckon?
Mullet.
Yeah.
You're going conservative in the front, party in the back. That's it. Go for the mullet.
Which one? The Ted Arcidi mullet, the Jake the Snake mullet, the Rick Martel
You got to go with the Jake. You got to go with the Jake. And get that big camera away from me. Come on. I don't even have the nice hair. Look at Tom Veg. He's got the beautiful hair.
For me, I'd go for the Warlord haircut. It's got to be Warlord.
Yeah, it depends where he's thinning. If he's like me on the sides, then I would go with the one-man gang mohawk.
Yes, that's a good one. Yeah.
I reckon for Veg, he's got to be a big boss man. Just spike it up. All he has to do is put a bit of gel in, and he's the big boss man. Flat top.
And what do you reckon, Tom? You're the master at looking at different parts of someone's face and hair. Which hair do you reckon from the LJN era might be the best to sport now?
Oh, bald.
Bald. Yes, it's easier to sculpt.
Who's on?
What about George the Animal?
George the Animal. You'd have to have a lot of body hair.
With his bumps all over him, his goosebumps. Actually, we have a real answer from the viewers. Chad Gutier, a great viewer, says, as a stylist, I didn't know he was a stylist, I'd suggest a permanent wave, a la Harley Race. Yeah, Harley Race's hair is pretty good, yeah.
Yep. While you're on the questions and messages, quickly read a few out before we get back onto the guests.
Oh, we've got one here from Joe Petka saying Po Jekka with a question mark. Red Garfield went for Bam Bam Bigelow for the hairstyle. And
there's a shaved head with tattoos, no?
And Smash Ventura says, I want Wars to get a Mr. T.
God's already given me one, buddy.
Well,
that was a good move right there. As long as there is not as long as the first one, I'm okay with all these letters. That first letter was insane. I couldn't believe how long it was, but these letters are not bad. I can't wait for next week's now.
The whole episode.
All right, there we go.
All right, Veg, Mr. Veg, talk to us. I mean, you've got a good relationship with Warren Warsman. You've also got a good relationship with Todd Tomeo.
Yes.
Are they your two main guys, and how do you bounce between them?
I also, Warsman is my main guy, if I can call him like that. Then Todd Tomeo also, he is one of the great guys. Charlie also from Glory Days of Wrestling, and I mean I'm also working with you and with other guys out there. I'm always open, not always, but I'm since recently again open for commissions, so anyone can commission me to sculpt someone or to sculpt a personal portrait of theirs. So yeah, how do I manage it? I have a schedule, so you come to me, and those who paid first, this is the portrait I did of you, your personal portrait, and amazing figure you did from it. Amazing paint.
Possible, Tom, but you actually made him better looking than I am, which I didn't think was possible.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, it's I don't know, it's manageable, but people need to wait for me until I finish prior orders, but I don't take longer than 30 days. This is like maximum. I will take the commission.
Well, you're very good and you're in high demand, so I'm sure people are happy to wait, and they understand, because anyone that's good at something is going to get a lot of attention and they're going to get a lot of orders.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. So far it was the case, but as a freelancer, always there are changes. Also, I was at the hospital back in the spring and summer, lost like 3 months of work. So it's changing, it's not stable.
Just on that, how is your health now? Are you much better?
Yeah, I'm functional. That is, I feel great, improving. So it's all good. I mean,
that's really good.
You look a lot better with a bit more weight on your body. That some of those photos there when you're in the really acute stage of treatment.
Yeah, it was.
And I was following it, as you know, when you started to consume, when you first had that solid food. That must have been an amazing moment for you.
Oh yeah, I was more than 30 days without food, so it was really horrible.
That's all right. I've gone more than 30 minutes without food once.
Yeah.
There's an old saying in Australia, and it's Brutus is built like a brick shithouse.
Hey Tom, do you find it easier to sculpt like someone like Hogan, like someone that's like out there famous, or like an individual? Which one's easier for you? Like a famous person, or like an everyday Zash man?
It's easier to sculpt everyday Zash man if he provides good photos, or if good photos are available out there of the celebrity guy. Often when I do pledges for Warsman, what I get are those guys who are long gone, like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and you have really bad photos of them available online, and it is very difficult to capture likeness. But this is what I do, and this is why I guess people like my work so much, because I'm somehow able to do it. So this is what I was doing in last 6 years. And actually, what I wanted to do is to be just to do digital sculpting. Before Warsman, I was doing all sort of things, including 3D models for game engines, which require a lot of more work after sculpting. So you need to do sculpture as a base, and then you have retopology, you have UV mapping, you have rigging, you have texturing, and then you have animation, and then you have implementing it into game engine. So for one character, it will take me a lot longer time to finish than for just sculpture. So this was great opportunity for me to do only sculpting and to enter this community, which I wasn't even aware existed before Warsman came in. So yeah.
Holy Christ! Look how many people are there, like minions everywhere.
And what I was saying about the shitty pictures, there are so many times I turn over the reference files and I'm cringing because I know I've given him such guys from the 70s in the territories or early 80s in the territories. The online pictures are horrible. I'll have to pause YouTube and taking a picture.
Oh wow. That's probably the worst.
I've done that plenty of times because you can't find images of how did their boots look. You can't find full body pictures of certain wrestlers, and you have to look up YouTube videos and get an estimate from a long distance shot or something of it.
Yeah, I was painting
up on it, but they don't. Oh, sorry, go Dwight.
No, I was painting the Vince Senior that Tom did for Todd, and there's a pictures of him, but there's barely. I think there's like 3-4 pictures of like color, that you could actually find, right? Yeah. It's impossible. And there's Vince Senior. There's not that many pictures.
True.
There is, but like there's not like his in colored, not too many. And and it turned out great because once I started getting the customs, I'm like, I need to have Vince's dad. He's the one who started this all. Who cares about Vince?
There's the same 4 pictures you always see of Vince Senior. That's
always
all that's out there.
There was actually one I found the other day by accident. He was with what wrestler? He was with Andre. And Andre was in color when he was wearing red tights. And there was another guy. I definitely don't remember now. I'm not going to bother thinking, right? But it was, and that's what I've been based on when I did the image.
Yeah, it's part of the fun trying to find images of things. I like to do it sometimes when it's slow at work or something. I think I'm going to paint it tonight. I have to find images today to find out, or otherwise I'll spend the whole night finding images and I'll get no paint on the figure. Guys, there's a segment that we do called Come On by Duarte, and we pick on Duarte with this one. He'll find something that he finds astounding, and or
irritating, or just, come on, just don't do that. Just be nice.
And we can all pick on him and either agree or disagree. So let's shoot on to Come On.
With all the crazy things going on in the past and present, we have a man who will tell you exactly how he sees it. Come on! With Duarte, the Pont.
I fucking hate being the big screen. So this week I'm going to talk about that. I know that Warsman will probably agree with me 100%. Is when you ask something to get made, or you tell someone you're going to buy it, and then when it's done, you don't pay for it. That's just a dick move. Like if you ask someone to make you a custom figure, and then he tells you how much it is, and then you're like, okay, next week, and then it turns in like 2-3 months. Come on, and you wasted the guy's time to make a wrestler when he didn't have to. And just like what I just noticed, Warsman, if you don't mind me saying, when Warsman puts out a pledge and you say yes, and he's assuming he's going to do it, and then people back out of, that's not right. If you say you're going to do something, do it, pay the man, because then you're just screwing everyone over. Come on, right?
What are you
Yeah. You know what happened with me? I don't think anybody intentionally didn't pay up. I don't know. You know, doing the pledge a month thing, and then the size of the pledge, it all just adds up. And I think it was a cumulative thing.
Yeah, of course, man. If you're losing money, like at the end of the day, money is money, but your time is value too, right? Like if someone's making a custom figure, you know, you got to look for the figure, chop it up, put it together, paint it, sculpt it, do everything, buy decals, and then you're about to sell it, and the guy doesn't buy for it. Come on. And just like your pledges, you know, you're assuming the pledges. Yeah, put the face on you, man. You know, when you do.
How can you be camera shy when you're on a podcast? Come on.
I just hate being right the dead screen.
Let me talk to you for a second.
Go ahead. I'll listen.
Let me tell you something, brother.
If you're taking a custom order from someone you've never taken an order from, and you do not know and you do not trust, grab a deposit, and he's lost his deposit. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, but you know what? The reason I don't, you know why I don't like that? Because I feel bad because I'm in Canada, and let's just say someone from the U.S. orders something from me, and I were to take a deposit. When let's say if I take a $20 deposit, they're gonna have to pay. I think it's like a $3 or $4.99 deposit fee on PayPal to send me that $20, and then when they send the remaining, they're gonna charge another $4.99 PayPal fee. So like, I don't want them to waste money. I just give everyone the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? You know, you're being a nice guy. Don't make them pay the PayPal fee. Just do it one time. If you say you're gonna buy it, just buy it. Come on. Don't be.
What do you reckon? Duarte thinks he lives in a perfect world, guys, where nothing.
Oh, that's just me. That's just me. That's just me.
Comment. Do you have anything to say about this, Tom?
Yes, well, that is why I'm always taking a payment full upfront before I start doing anything.
There we go. Businessman.
If some people just don't want to when I tell them that, but they usually come back. So
The way
I don't see.
The way I see it is, if they're serious and they're going to buy it, they're going to not worry about paying a deposit. It's as simple as that. And if it's $2, $3 here, they're worried about a PayPal fee. At the end of the day, they probably shouldn't be buying a custom.
Very true.
That's my take.
Yeah, if you got a name like Tom Veg or Zashman or Duarte, you know, if you're a big leaguer like that, you should be charged up front, full price.
No, I don't like doing that. I don't like taking money up front. When it's done, it's done. Like if I were to make someone a custom, I would make it all, and then when it's time, babe, I don't like to take the money up front because then it makes me have to go hard, like, and I want to have fun doing what I'm doing, right?
You're too nice.
You have a point. You have some point there.
Because if they pay, then you're pressured, and you have to do it. And then it's like,
there is a point.
Do I want to have an extra gummy and then veg out on the couch and watch TV, or do I want to paint? Right at that point, like, that person is my boss, and that's not gonna happen. You know, I'm the boss. I'll do it on my own time. When it's done, if it takes me 3 months and you want it then, cool. But if I were to do it, I'll tell the person, listen, I'm going to do this on my own time. It may take a week. It may take 3 months. When it's done, it's done.
I can't argue with that. I think that's a good point. What do you reckon, Tom?
It's a good point, but also, I mean, I'm doing that with my personal projects.
Yeah.
If I have something, I also have 3D printers, which I if I want to make, for example, a sculpture which I will sell only, which you will be able to buy only through me, I will do it in my own spare time without any pressure. But when it comes to commissions, I mean, I don't have like when someone pays me, usually they don't give me a deadline, you know.
Yeah.
But a week, let's say, you pay me for a head, and I tell you next week it will be done. What day next week? Maybe it will be Wednesday, maybe it will be Sunday, but it's going to be, so I have some, you know, liberty over there. So it's not all fixed in stone. But as the work piled up, if I have 30 heads in advance, then I get to your point. It's kind of but you see, for me, this is work.
Yeah, that's your work.
This is work for me, so I guess it's different. You if you are doing it for a hobby, of course.
Yeah, it's a hobby.
You want to enjoy it full time. You don't want to have any stress. But for me, this is work. So
like on the weekend, I'll watch soccer. I'll watch soccer from like 7 in the morning until 5 p.m. Like I don't want to paint. I don't want to do anything. I just want to watch soccer. You know, and then if I'm pressured to do it because that's when I'm off work, then it's not fun. So that's why I never take money up front. I enjoy having the fun doing it.
And I can totally understand what you're saying there, Dwight. Like in respect that you want to keep it fun. You want to do it when you want to do it. You don't want them saying, "Hey, I paid you. When are you going to have this thing done?" Because it's a hobby to you, and you want to keep it fun. And that sort of way. Whereas Tom, he's strictly
that's different.
You know, this is what he does. You know, for a living. So it's totally different ball game between the two of you, and it's good to hear the different sides. What do you think, Brutus?
I think Dwight explained it really, really well, and you get the difference with Tom, who's having to do this for a living. So I don't know. I don't need to add anything to it.
Well, thanks, Brutus. That's great.
I could say from this point of view, if everyone who said they were going to buy a book bought a book, it'd be a different story. But it's a similar thing, you know. Some guys dream, and with the customizers, you have to then put in the pre-work, and whether the dream comes true is another story.
Just on that book, I know you've still got some left because you've been mentioning it recently, but is there plenty left for people to get their hands on? Christmas is coming up. I mean, I know if I didn't have a book, it'd be the first thing on my stocking list.
Unlike a lot of people in the digital age, I will say there is plenty left. I won't say, there's only a couple left. The Has book is getting slim, right? It's getting down to the last 100. And what you find is when you get to the last lot, they go a lot faster.
Okay, and a quick website where they can hook up and get one?
Oh, well, a quick one is thehasbook.com is probably the easiest, or the LJN Wrestling Superstars book.com, which people think is hard to remember, but it's LJN Wrestling Superstars, and it's a book.
Pretty damn simple.
And even if you Google LJN Wrestling Superstars book, it will come up. I've done that before.
It comes up. I put a lot of work into a lot of pre-work, about a year, because you've got to get on Google early in order to actually start to move up the Google things. So I put that was about a year before the book even came out to actually move up the Google standings.
Yeah. Well,
and what's happening with that special edition book you talked about, I think 2 weeks ago or last week or 3 weeks?
It's been a very busy time. 3 of my other books have just come in. And so now I have to process them. Look, here's a CD that goes in them. That's very old school. And so that takes precedence. So that's the thing at the moment.
Okay, well, another quick segment before I rack Tom's brain about ZBrush. We're going to shoot on over to Dorian.
And now, it's your chance to challenge the Fig Storian himself. Ask a question or try to stump the LJN Mastermind. Ladies and gentlemen, how's that? With the Fig Storian, Brother Brutus Valentine.
I can see Brutus is getting a box ready. We have an unboxing.
We have
Last week we had some
People
wicked
seemed to
unboxing.
like last week. They were in a bit of amazement that I had some things that came through that never got opened, and I
Looks like-
explained the reason for that last week. And you guys said, "Well, have you got any more?" And I do. Now this one, I've actually can give you a postage date on this one. This is from April.
Big box from April.
Now this knife isn't very sharp. This one, I can't find my sharper one. So
That's not a
any
knife.
speculation on what might be in here?
It's got to be something more.
Blow up doll.
If this is another black card, I can't believe it's still packed up.
Did someone say
No,
blow
it
up?
won't be because after February, I hardly spent anything because the business went downhill. It's very well packed.
All right, guys. Comment. What is it? What do you think it is? Quick, let's see your comments. Oh, it's not LJN. He looks like you've been sent the wrong item.
Maybe it's in that box. What? What did you order?
Oh, okay. Don't laugh just yet.
Imagine he got the wrong toy, and this whole time he thought he had it.
Oh, no, it's gonna happen.
Oh, really well
This
wrapped.
guy, this is super packing. I'm telling you, this guy has really.
Well, you've got to stop using that knife, man. You're gonna cut through the
Yeah.
pack.
He's just going zing, zing.
Oh, here it is. Beautiful. I think I've got one of them. Yeah, I've got one of them.
But this is red kilt with.
Oh,
What?
Oh, no, it's the green kilt. Sorry, with the red boots on a different card.
so wait, why is yours different to mine? I'm going to shoot mine up on the screen, and you tell me what's different.
Well, there's 5 kilts, but
5 kilts.
Okay, so yours is a different kilt to mine. I didn't picture.
no. So yours is a 22 back,
Right.
So this
And then
this is an earlier one.
Okay.
But in terms of the actual figure, let's have a look at yours again. Need a shave.
What did you notice
Yours
right
is
there? I don't know what you noticed.
I don't know. What am I?
I don't know what
Yours is, okay, no, Zash, yours is a really good one. Yours is the triple barrel Rowdy Roddy Piper name disc. That's hard to get.
Is it? What's a triple barrel? What triple barrel? What?
Because it says Rowdy Roddy Piper, where up to almost all of them will say Roddy Piper.
And what does his say?
So mine says
He says Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Oh,
so that's the only difference, and that makes.
Oh no, we might find that the kilt runs in a different direction, but you'd have to look closely for that.
Okay.
Because some of the kilts were cut horizontal and some of them were cut vertical.
Cool. Well, there you go.
Yeah, so,
Plenty of
so
different
yours is-
varieties.
you've got a gold mine there. You got a rare one there, Stash.
Yeah. And the reason why
Get a
is
different
actually
one.
from Australia, because I have the Piper with the brown boots. I also have Zash's one, but
That's
didn't
brown.
have-
To me, that's red.
Yeah, so that's why I got the red one.
Okay. Mine has
Yeah.
red boots, but mine's not Australian because it doesn't have kids' beers on it. Mine's
It
from
doesn't have
Cape.
what on it? Mine's from Lionel.
See if it smells the same. Both of you guys open up the package. See if it smells the same.
The Aussie ones were kids' beers, right? All the
Yeah,
Aussie
Aussie
ones.
one's the kids' beers. Yeah,
Yeah.
this one is a Lionel.
Brutus, you might know the answer to this. Which LJN the paint chips off the most? For me, it was Roddy Piper. That sucker just bled the paint off.
I think
Yeah,
it would be. I think it would be One Man Gang, $1 Million Man, Those guys, the guys that have like the black rubber, I think those are the ones
The,
that like
the overpaint. Well, the overpaints lose their paint just by looking at them. And there's so many kids who said they took them out of the pack and gave them one whack, and that was it. You have to look at the heels because the heels got bashed so much. So Roddy Piper was the second last figure I got in Australia when I was hunting them loose because they were always so badly damaged. Jimmy Snooker's trunks chip a lot.
The line came out when I was 11, and Piper did get his ass beat in my fed many times. So maybe that's why mine was almost naked from lack of...
He copped it big time.
I still don't know how you guys have mint on card LGNs. Like I don't even know how any kid kept it like that.
Oh well, most of these are actually they were,
and I can't believe there's that many around. That there's that many around.
That's the question, but that's a product of how many were produced. Like about 2.2 million Hulk Hogan's was my estimate on that based on the production codes. And you know we've talked about the different molds, the 50,000 molds and the 100,000 plus molds. Roddy Piper would have been about 700,000 made. You know, and essentially when stores closed down, that stock went into wholesale, and it was still sitting there. And when they overproduced the new ones, the old ones again, they weren't selling compared to what the new ones were. That's always quite striking on that one. And I should tell you that when I was working in 1991, and it was in a country town, I went in and there was LJNs carded sitting on the racks. There was Hogan, there was Piper, there was Volkov, there was Sheik, but I didn't have the money to buy them, even though they were just retail, $11.99. But if I had bought them then, it would have been a different story.
Yeah. Brutus, answer this question for me.
Yep.
I'm not massively knowledgeable when it comes to these mocks. I just buy them because that's what I used to like touching in the toy shop. Not that I bought one for a while, but some have the little peg bit like that, and some have the opportunity to be unpunched, like the early ones. When did they stop making these early sort of punchings?
Okay, so the butterfly hook that you're showing there, and the card is a slightly different size too. The J hook, so that happened when the first Series 3 were released. So when Series 3 was released, they went to the J hook. So that meant all the trailing re-releases, because every time they released a new series, they'd produce runs of the earlier series as well. So this one here, so this is a butterfly hook. So that's one of the early ones, and that's why it's got the 13 back card. And Zash, you've got a 22 back card, and I reckon yours is probably made in Hong Kong as well. So if you look down the front left, down the bottom, it'll probably say made in Hong Kong.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's a 22 back, red boots, red kilt, triple barrel name, Rowdy Roddy Piper. That's the hardest one to get on card.
Damn.
And that one would have come out, that one would have been reproduced around about August in 1986. And then, sat on the stands from then.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty cool. I bought it a long time ago off eBay. I don't think I paid that much, but it's good to hear you got something that other people want.
Yeah, but hardly any people worry about the different cards and all that sort of stuff. And of course, the early ones had the same assortment number, 5400, which meant they came in boxes of 24, just chucked in. There weren't packing ratios like we understand now. There would have been about 6 Hulk Hogans to 2 Pipers to 2 Andres, that sort of stuff. And then
the way it is right now, too.
And now, Zash, your one probably has 5424 on it. That's when they started packing slightly different.
Yeah, it does have that.
5424. That's right.
He really is the big historian. He knows everything and anything and all about it, eh?
Just weird.
But that was okay. So that was boxes together. So that was, there'll be a box of heels because that's the heel code. And so they put a box of heels, probably 4 of each. The big problem was when the wrestlers' codes started to be individual. So 12, they box them in 12 or 24. So that was okay for big stores because they get 24 Jakes, that sort of stuff. But can you imagine a little mum and pop store which sold these things, out in regional USA, and they had to get 24 Ted Arcides. You know, they're not going to sell 24 Ted Arcides. So that was part of the reason why they couldn't get as many stock on the shelves, because in the past they bought a box of 24. Now they're buying 24 slicks or 24 Arcides. And then it went down to 12. They started to pack them in 12. And you can see boxes sometimes on the internet. I couldn't put any boxes in the book because I don't own those images, and I couldn't get permission from the people. And you'll see the code on it, and you say, oh yeah, well that's Ted Arcidi. They came straight from the factory in China at that stage, straight to the wholesaler, not to LJN. They'd already pre-sold them. And so the little stores couldn't carry them anymore because they couldn't sell.
Are the actual packing boxes worth money themselves?
People ask for significant money from them, but whether they sell, I'm not too sure. One guy was selling the cutouts from the boxes, which actually just has the code, which is an interesting thing. Hasbro boxes are worth a lot of money.
They probably display better, that's why.
Yeah, that's right. The LJNs are huge, and they're just those big, thick shipping cartons. So essentially, you know, in the past, up until about mid-1987, they came as boxes. You know, this lot of wrestlers, these managers, then the heels, then the faces. Then after that, they came as individuals, and you can't sell as many as each wrestler. And that's why you see lots of Bob Ortons around. That's why you see, you know, lots of Adrian Adonises around, because they just weren't going to sell.
Brutus, I have a question for you to piggyback off of that. You mentioned wholesalers, and I remember vividly either in the summer of '89 or the summer of '90.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly.
I was shopping with a girl I really dug, so I didn't want to look at the wrestling figures, but I saw a bear of LJN Hakus at a toy wholesaler, a toy liquidator. They were not packaged.
He's gonna pull a Harley race right now.
Was I dreaming? Was I crazy?
No, you were absolutely correct. Let's see if I can find one for you from the book, because I had to engage with a very quiet super collector from Canada to get the black card pictures that I didn't have. So, you know, if you follow the internet says you could only get black cards from, you know, the back of the PWI magazine, right, or in Canada. And of course, now we know New Zealand got all the black cards as well. But US got black cards, but they were sold in closeout to the toy liquidator chain. And the toy liquidator chain was just opening around about 88, 89. And searching for them, I found lots of ads wanting employment. And so the black cards were on sale for $7.99 initially. And there's stories of this Florida one that was huge. And people would go in and there were like hundreds of Hakus, hundreds of Warlords. Then in late 1990, they went down to $3.99. So you could potentially have got a black card Randy Savage for $3.99. And as we talked about last week, that's, you know, if it's on its own bio card, still in pack, that's a lot of money. So it was just that, the nature of that thing, because Grand Toys just cleared them. So cleared them down to New Zealand, and they were at full retail price in New Zealand, but then they were discounted in New Zealand in 1991. And I've seen some with $5 on it, New Zealand. So it's an amazing thing. 1990, Toy Liquidators, $7.99. Late 1990, $3.99 for the black cards. And they were everywhere, like shelves and shelves and shelves of them.
Was it common for them to be out of package, though? Because there was a literal pickle barrel full of loose Hakus.
No, so in that case, I'd speculate. I mean, I can only give an assumption on that these were so badly damaged, or when they were making it in, you know how some of the black cards have their own cards and some then have the Hogan cards. That's simply because they're making a certain amount. Oh, yeah, we pre-sell them through wholesale, right? We've got 200,000 Hogan cards. Let's just put it on a Hogan card. Now, they would have come to a point where they got no Hogan cards left, and someone says, well, you know, we'll buy them for 10 cents a piece or 5 cents a piece. And I'm making that assumption that that's probably what happened then. And you know how we got the 2-packs where they just boxed the 2 figures into the 2-packs? So it's probably after they ran out of 2-pack boxes, right? So got no more 2-pack boxes. That was 1990 in Canada. So what are we going to do with these loose figures? You know, someone buys 2,000 of them or something. I've never heard that. That's a fantastic thing to put in to actually see the loose figures in the store. And now, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, and the guys who are following the stream might disagree, I believe Haku is the hardest LJN to find in very good condition.
And the black
And
hearts?
because,
And the black hearts?
Yeah, loose. And because the Warsman was too busy trying to impress some clothy bin, right? He couldn't grab his Haku.
He must have been a good sort for you to walk past wrestling figures and.
I was with my mom. I would have bought it. I would have begged her for it, but I was with a girl and I could not pull the trigger.
She might have liked
yeah,
you. Right.
Well, that's what she said too. But anyway,
well, guys, I want to rack Tom's brain about ZBrush. So we're going to move on from this, but just before we do, because time's getting away, I'm going to shoot over to Joe Gaddor's custom hacks. He's done an unbelievable custom hack. So all you customizers, sit down right now, stop what you're doing, put down your paintbrushes if you're customizing, because you're going to want to listen to this for a few seconds.
All right, guys, my custom hack is how to use heat to modify your LJN. A lot of people use an oven. I just use your old-fashioned heat gun I get from Walmart. The figure I'm working with is a beater Greg the Hammer Valentine. I actually did this one up last night, so once I'm done explaining, I'll take it out so you guys can see the difference between the original and the one I worked on. What I did was I put a screw here, a little bit of wire to kind of pull the arms up in. Now I'm going to show you how I quickly heat it, then I'm going to let it sit. So again, with the heat gun, you don't want to leave it in one spot for too long. You don't want to melt the rubber, so you kind of flash it back and forth. So this is typically what I do, just kind of hit it back and forth. And I'll do that until I think it's heated up enough, and I'll let it sit overnight. Again, with this one, I did it last night, so I'll take it apart real quick so you guys can see the difference between an original and what I have here. So here's your original Greg the Hammer, and there's the one I modified. You can see his arm kind of, it's up like he's flexing, and then I actually turned this fist so it looks like he's kind of flexing. Again, you can modify it a little bit more if you want to, put some more heat to it, change, maybe straighten this up or whatever you prefer. But this is what I use a lot. Hopefully you guys enjoyed.
So that's modifying limbs using heat, which for me is a great thing. I do it quite often. It's so much better than cutting off arms and putting putty on and screwing them back in. It's going to be a lot stronger. It's not going to crack as much. What do you guys think? Duarte, have you done this before?
Never. I didn't even know you could do it like that. I always heard the oven. I'm like, who's putting these in the oven? I'm not even going to try. I don't even care if I smoked a joint. I would know not to put a rubber doll in the oven. So I'm like, I'm not doing that because I know that it's going to burn.
All right. I want George Steele, the Bundys, Bundy and the Bulldogs redone with their arms not down by their side.
Definitely. And this is something you can do even if you're not doing a custom. You can just grab your normal LJN off the shelf and modify it a little. Sometimes you do see damage on the rubber, especially if you sometimes do what I do and grab one of those barbecue lighters, those big long lighters, and I sort of flash it backwards and forwards with that sometimes, because that will probably give it more of a certain spot where you're heating it up. With the heat guns, they're great, but they heat a larger section, which is good for other things as well. But yeah, I thought that was a great custom hack by the legendary Joe Gaddor.
And how long would you do those arm things for?
Well, you can sort of tell. Like sometimes I use elastic bands and sort of pull them into each other and strap an elastic band around it and stuff like that. You just got to be careful not to heat up the elastic band because that's going to break. The way Joe did it is an exceptionally good way because his is much stronger. the way I do it. But sometimes I just take a shortcut and I go, I just want to move it a little bit, and I'll pull it with my hand and I'll do it with a lighter and just hold it there and then cool it down, blow on it or cool it down or something. And as soon as it's cooled, it's going to sort of stay there. It always flexes back a little bit, but then you can move it again and do it again as many times as you want. You'll notice on Customs of the Week, I did an Uncle Elmer figure that's a Tom Veg head. And on that figure, you'll see on the first picture that comes up, there's a bit of black under the arm, and that's just from where I heated that up on that one. But if you guys didn't know about that, we thank Joe Gaddor for bringing that little tip to everyone's attention. So Tom, before we move on to anything else, I want to talk to you about ZBrush. I saw the Figure Guys podcast a few weeks ago. We had, they had, which I was on it for that one. It was a great episode. Todd Tomeo was talking about ZBrush and all the stuff that you've been helping him with, and he's been getting some great tips off you. Gave me a little bit of what do you call it? To go try it. So I got the free version of ZBrush and went on there and had a little play around. I couldn't get anything more than a shape of a Martian-looking dude, and it was the hardest thing. I couldn't wrap my head around it, and I'm thinking this is something that's going to take years to master. I'm not just going to go on here and be able to do this straight up. It's incredible, and I've seen some of your videos that you've done of you just, dancing around it like it's second nature, like it's another limb to you. How long did it take you to become like this?
Well, there are several steps. First step is to learn to navigate in ZBrush, to use the brushes, to like you said, it needs to become a part of you. It's basically sculpting software. It's actually imitating the actual clay. Let me see, can I show you something here? I have ZBrush opened. So I brought some of my sculpts here. One of these, I don't know, you can't really see it. I need to zoom in.
We can see. Yep.
So here is Dennis Rodman. I did for Warsman for latest pledge. Here is Tito Santana for the prototype LJN. The prototype, it's not realistic. And here is realistic. Oops, no. This is. And here is realistic sculpture I did for Wrestling Arcade Toys, who I forgot to mention when you asked me big people with who I work with. So this one is the full figure, Galope style, and it is fully licensed. So I'm working with him as well, and there will be more figures. So what you're asking me is, first of all, you need to have this. So it's graphic tablet with a pen with a pressure sensitivity. This is Wacom Intuos Pro, one of the older ones, but it's a professional version. This pen has pressure sensitivity of, I don't know, some stats about it. It also have tilt. So when you tilt it, it registers the tilt, but the tilt is not important for ZBrush. What is important is pressure sensitivity. So you need to get, it needs to become your second nature to be able to use the software. You need to learn brushes, shortcuts for brushes. For example, I don't know, this is clay buildup, this is move brush, and so on. You can't go here and then spend half an hour searching for a brush. It needs to become your second nature to do it if you want to be able to sculpt fast enough to make it a viable thing, a job like it is for myself. That is first part. And you asked me how long it took me. It took me few months to get really good at ZBrush. I used to be very frustrated when I learned it. I remember even banging my hand at the desk because it was so difficult. It's logic. It's different from any other software. As anyone who opened the ZBrush could have seen it. But once you learn it, it will all make sense because this software is done by artists. It was done by software developers, of course, but input was given by artists. So it's really, I think it's the best. There are other sculpting softwares out there as well, but ZBrush is the best. So that is only the first part. Second part is you need to learn how to sculpt. And learning how to sculpt took me till I got my first paying customer, someone who paid me to sculpt someone, and it was a Roger Moore portrait. It took me 10 months. And when I say 10 months, at the time I was living at my parents', and that was the only thing I did. So from when I got up to the end of the day, during the night, I wasn't only doing ZBrush at the time, I also did the other parts, which I mentioned, I believe, at the start of this podcast, retopology, UV mapping, texturing, rigging, because I wanted to get into the gaming industry, to become designer for games and so on. But as I started to get to make portraits, I started to realize this is where I am. At the beginning, I wasn't even sure. Do I want to be in ZBrush or do I want to do hard surface modeling, for example, cars, spaceships, or whatnot, or even environments? But portraits were my thing, and they were my thing since I was a kid. And now, finally, with this software and this entire industry, it's enabled me to become viable. It's 1 a.m. here, so sorry if I'm rambling a bit. Ask me, please, Zesh, another question because I'm a bit stuck.
Yeah. I'd love to just see if it's possible.
Yeah.
Are you able to open a file up on that and just maybe show someone like what you've done or how it looks when you open up ZBrush?
I have this, or you want me to like start to show how I start?
Start, yeah. If you want to just open up and just start. I mean, this is just amazing, guys. You're watching right now an absolute master talking about his trade, and for this podcast to be able to have this guy on and showing us this stuff is just unbelievable. And we thank you so much for coming on and showing us this.
So I have this base head, and I have second monitor where I will be uploading photos. Those photos which Warsman mentioned, for example, sometimes you need to open up YouTube and pause videos to be able to let me open our latest.
Folded bunkhouse bus might be the one to show them.
So here it is, Dennis Rodman. I already sculpted him, but I will show you what I do. So here are the photos, my reference photos. This is the main photo for expression, and those are different angles of him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are many things you need to understand, but one of the things you need to understand when you're sculpting celebrity, for example, is those photos you find on the internet are from different eras, from different ages of him, and people change as as they go older, they get skinnier, they get fatter. So you will sometimes, even today, I get photos and I see one photo, okay, he looks like this. Then I see another photo, he looks completely like a completely different person, you know. So it's difficult. Okay, let me start. Let me see. Can you see it? Okay. Oh. So this is the beginning. First, I select my nice brushes, then I select my cut brushes.
This is a figure I want to get my hands on too. I'd love to get the whole Chicago Bulls. I'm watching The Last Dance at the moment. So it's really got me back into my high school era of playing basketball.
So it's like I said, it's 1 a.m. and I already did 2 portraits today. So I'm a bit tired, but usually this would go faster. Speed is the key.
So you start off with a head, a general head, is that right?
Yes, I have something like this base head, which has some basic nose, basic head shape. I have a sphere. Let me show you. So this is the sphere in case I will need a hair. I have already sculpted the teeth, bottom teeth, tongue, ears, like basic ear shape. It's nothing, because I need to have it basic, because every face is different. You can't have some perfectly sculpted head as a starting point. It would be useless, because you would need to resculpt it. So it's like clay. Basically, it's clay, only digital. And this is why one of the things I need to mention, which is getting a bit, it's a bit annoying to me, but I don't mind. I know people don't know what it is. Everyone seems to say 3D scan, 3D scan, 3D scan. This is not 3D scanning. This is sculpting. It's like you take a piece of clay and you sculpt with your hands. Only it's not with your hands, it's with this.
That's another thing I have to ask you about, Tom. Like a lot of guys will do the 3D sort of scan of a head. Is that an accurate way of doing it, or what's your opinion on that?
3D scanning? Yeah, if you have a good 3D scanner, and if you know how to clean it up, that is probably the way to do it for a live person, you know, who is able to get his real head to the 3D scanning and have his head scanned.
When you say clean it up, you mean add detail like the eye sockets and stuff like that?
Sorry, I need another. If I wasn't hearing you.
So when you say clean it up, you mean add details like wrinkles, eye sockets, and stuff like that, because the scan probably won't pick up the small things.
Not just that, the scan will be dirty. It will pick up dirt. You have dust in the air. You have you will move. You need to breathe. You know, you will move, and it will pick up those. It's called noise. It's called noise. You need to be able to clean up the noise, and also what you're going to get with 3D scan is messed up hair. So you need to be able to actually sculpt the hair, and you need to be able to sculpt the details and to fix irregularities. Or if you, at the end of the day, you need an artist. You need to either be an artist, or you need to hire an artist who is going to do all that post-processing work. And that is why I actually still get work to do personal portraits of people. They either don't have access to 3D scanner, or actually my price is not that much different, I believe. I don't know, maybe there are some cheap people who are going to do 3D scanning, but I highly doubt it. It's not that big of a difference of a price. So, but to be able to be cheap, you need to be fast.
Well, I know it's late there, Tom, so we're not going to hold you up doing this for any longer, because you've shown everyone the whole system. We appreciate that. I'm sure it takes a long time to sculpt a head. Any of you guys have any questions for Tom before we shoot on over to questions of the week?
I have a quick question for Tom.
Yep.
What system are you running in order to be able to run ZBrush at a decent level?
You need to have a lot of RAM.
Right.
A lot of RAM. I have. This was quite an expensive PC back in 2017. I bought it, and it was Intel i7 processor. Graphic card, I have strong graphic card, but it's not important for ZBrush. Only what is important is your RAM, and I think I have 64 megabytes of RAM, gigabytes of RAM.
Because the files I'm assuming would be really large, and you're working with a lot of large files open at consecutive time.
Yes. One ZBrush file is, let me just check. For example, this Dennis Rodman is 332 3 megabytes.
Megabytes, yeah. Yeah, so it's
300 megabytes for one head.
Yeah. Okay,
sorry.
gotcha.
Oh.
No,
I have a question for the great one. Other than Elizabeth, what's the kinkiest thing somebody's asked you to sculpt?
Oh, the kinkiest thing. Oh my God. There is something, I know Warsman, I showed you.
Putting you on the spot.
Is this what kind of Zash? Can I post something really nasty?
Do it. Everyone, the kids are watching.
Nothing nasty to them.
Come on, show us. Kids are looking away.
Kids are looking away.
Yep.
For real, I can do it.
Yes, do it.
Okay. Be prepared. Let me just remember.
I get messages from Dwight a lot of the time that could bury whatever you're about to show me. I'm sure.
Yeah, here we go.
All right.
Here we go.
Let me just find it. So, former British Prime Minister Theresa May.
Yep.
Nice.
So I was commissioned to make a sculpture of her slamming European flag inside of hers, because it was an art project of.
Find a picture to go by or this.
No, that's good. That's good artwork. It says a lot. I mean, really, it's commenting on those ongoing issues through Brexit. So no, I thought it was going to be something slightly different, but
so it was idea of an artist who commissioned me. It was her idea. It was a woman artist from UK, and she had this 3D printed in like half human size, and it was displayed in some museum in London.
Because of course.
So this is not something we're going to find on Warren Warsman's website.
No. But this is, I mean, sorry.
Dwight would be the first customer if this goes up for sale.
Okay, good. I mean, it took a lot of work, obviously, to do it. I mean, I had to put in a lot of work to be able to.
A lot of anatomy study.
Yeah.
No,
of course.
Look, it's a comment. It's a comment on the UK's treatment of Europe and essentially how they saw themselves.
This is not. I need to be clear. This is not my own statement.
Not yours.
I am just a messenger. I am just a messenger. If people come to me, scope this, scope that. I do it.
The education side of it.
He's your man.
we're just having a perv.
So yeah, this is you need to flag this video now. It's not for kids anymore.
No.
That's right. You've given me an idea. You might need to get good with Margaret Thatcher, because I might have a couple of ideas of Margaret Thatcher to be sculpted. So.
And Jason Ferrugia, if you're watching, mate, don't bother sending me that in Messenger. I've already seen it. He's as bad as Dwight with his messages. All right, guys, we're going to shoot on over to Customs of the Week. I can see we've got a lot of watchers after what Tom Veg just showed us.
People.
So let's check out the customs we've had this week on the Elite Customs group. Guys, we are still trying to make this so we can stop the video and have a look more in depth. But Brutus has got his pen out. He's going to write down the customizers, and we're going to do it the best we can. So let's shoot on over.
And now it's time for the guys to look, like, and discuss their favorite customs of the week.
So there we have it this week, guys. Claudio Paroli, busy as usual. He was our guest on last week. He's doing some fantastic work. I love Shad's repaints. I think the slick one was fantastic this week, but a lot of great stuff. Start on over with you, Brutus. What did you think?
I thought the slick repaint, and I said that was a really good pimp. But excuse me, I'd have to say, just because of who picked it up, Zash, this week your fabulous Rougeau brothers might have taken the cake.
Oh, thank you, mate. I appreciate that. And Duarte, what did you think, buddy?
I like I like what Shad does with he repaints each figure to a different attire. Claudio's Vader, I do like that what he did with the hands. He made it look realistic how he always did. Like that's how I remember him, right? And then even the guy, I'm not sure who did it, the headbanger guy.
The what?
It was a headbanger wrestler. I forgot. Someone made him. That was one of the wrestlers, but I didn't see the name.
Okay. Yep. Cool.
I don't know who it was.
Brian Bravington's doing some work. He's getting into it. Warren, what did you think?
Yeah, I didn't catch everyone's name, but the Warrior stood out to me as one that it just made. I don't want to say easy because they're not easy, but that one looked like something I would have made back in the day. The Vader, the Undertaker, your Rougeaus, and Uncle Elmer. Uncle Elmer's a guilty pleasure of mine, so I loved seeing that.
Yeah, awesome. And Tom, anything stand out for you there?
Well, I'm biased. I'm going to be biased, but all of the work looked really good to me. But of course, the Rougeau brothers with my heads are my favorites. I'm biased, and what can I do?
Should be that. You're allowed.
They're just all American boys, aren't they, Dwight?
Yeah.
Anything with Tom Veg heads?
And when Jacques, when they had the little flags, the one time Jacques was there and he was picking his nose with the end of the flagpole. That was an amazing heel turn. And Zash, any interest in the Rougeau brothers from anyone, or?
Yeah, they're actually being sent out to Jacques Rougeau, who saw them and liked them. So he's going to be receiving those figures, and he's going to send me a video when he gets them. So that's something good. It's always nice to get the actual celebrities like your figures and get them. So that's what it's all about. I also made them so purposely so they can have a flag in the hand. I didn't have the flags at the time. But you'll notice their positioning is all set up to have flags in their hands if you want to put a little hole in and put a toothpick flag in there or something. But yeah, that was good fun.
I think that's great. Congratulations for you creators that the actual men and women themselves, we'll skip the women one on some of the images we're seeing, see it and
it's
say,
art.
"This is
It's
great.
art.
I wanna
It's
have
art,
one."
man.
But Tom, if Theresa May gives you a call, that might be an interesting thing.
I think she would give a call to the woman who commissioned me first.
To the artist, yeah. And Mr. Warsman, I just have to ask, have you done a Cousin Luke yet?
We have not.
Okay.
Finishing up the Hillbillies is a dream of mine.
Because this is the mysterious list. If I ever get a chance to get onto book 2, which is all the guys who didn't get a figure, I wasn't.
But he has
able
some
to
of those guys.
make a custom Luke. My custom Luke didn't work, and there's a few other heads I haven't been able to do. And we won't go into the digital customs that I did, but I was looking closely at what Tom was doing, and with a lot of interest and thinking, okay, that's interesting. But
Warsman, you see what he just did there? He set up a pledge for you to do of that list. So a lot of guys, he just hinted you.
Is that my 2022? That looks like my 2022.
Share that.
Yes, your 2022 job. Yeah.
He just
like
set
entire
up
year.
He just set up a pledge for you. He just set it up, and now you just got to hit it out of the park.
All right. He lobbed a softball to me.
Yeah.
Well, guys, Tom, I want you to thank you for coming on the show tonight. I know
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, mate, it's been absolutely astounding chatting to you and getting a few demonstrations off you and listening to the master talk about his work. And I know it's very late for you, so we're going to end the show now. Warren, it's always a pleasure also having you on. You are the man who has sold millions of heads and made people happy. And your work,
more head than Sonny.
Yeah, your work with Tom's always been fantastic, and hopefully it always will keep going forever and ever. Any last words from anyone before we end it?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you guys for being such a professional team. And and the way you present yourselves online is also that's a benchmark as well for people to follow. And Tom, keep that health going.
Thank you, and happy Thanksgiving, Warsman, and all the Americans.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on again. I love talking LJN. They were my first wrestling figures. I work in Mattel's mostly now, but I still have nothing but love for LJN. And one day I will probably make an LJN custom.
Well, there it is, guys. And I know I promised you a prize this week, but the episode's just been too big to worry about prizes. So next week, I promise we'll do something. I'll offer a figure of some kind up for one of the best comments or something. But thank you for everyone's comments. We haven't gotten to all of them, but we'll shoot back and reply to them all after the show. Guys, Tom Veg, Warren Warsman, it is the dream team. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Goodbye.